This year we had a lot of interest rate expectations, a lot of geopolitical risk.
Gold is going from 3,400 to 4,400.
The real questions is what's going on if Powell will be out as the president of Federal Reserve.
They also expect 2 further rate cuts, which could boost gold and silver even more. But what I think is an even more important event is the new Fed president. If the stock market drops, like Trump cannot, under his presidency, have the stock market drop.
What is your outlook for the next year, like let's say in terms of gold? Hi guys, it's a pleasure to have you once again to our podcast. And today our podcast is very special because we're going to have some discussion about the events of 2025 and also the possible events and developments in 2026 with two of our under traders who are actually very different, but also very similar in many ways. So they are different in terms of where they come from. So one comes from Italy and the other comes from the Netherlands. So we have here
Nicola
And Rutger.
So and the similarity I see in both of them is they are both very young traders. They are both Honda traders with the trading pit, and they are both also in training focused on fundamental analysis and making decisions based on raw data rather than a hunch or something that they heard from somewhere. So today we're going to discuss mostly fundamental things with these two young passionate traders, and hopefully you can get some insights from them and also some ideas about the future and what it holds for the markets. So thank you once again, guys.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you for having us.
And let's start. Let's take the bull's horns straight away. So let's start from the commodities market. So in 2025, we had gold and silver, which hit record highs. And I wanted to ask from both of you. So what are your thoughts really? Like why this happened, and what are like the reasons, and do you foresee it coming, or what are your thoughts about this?
Yeah, for sure. It was because this rally it's caused because this year we had a lot of interest rates expectations, a lot of geopolitical risk, and even tariffs like from US and China, between US and China, something like that. So yes, this is the reason why we had this rally. But the really questions is this price of gold and the other commodities necessary for global demand? What do you think about it?
So my own like view is that and being in the market for such a long time, it's so in terms of silver, silver has been like hovering in this level where it was like for many years, like and it was actually underperforming. So for silver, it was probably like very expected that we will have this move, but to be honest, just between you and me, if somebody had told me in August that gold is going from 3,400 to 4,400, I would have given it like zero probability, like really. So it was very unexpected.
Yeah, I think the great debasement trade was also a big topic in 2025 because we saw the outflow from the dollar. Gold was basically the best hedge against the dollar, right? Because we saw the dollar dropping. And yeah, what can you do, for example, to hedge the dollar is to long gold. And I think we saw this also with a lot of other commodities like silver. We saw copper rally as well, but also crypto for the beginning of the year. We're now trading below the yearly open, so crypto ended up not gaining this year. But also currencies like Swiss, which is very correlated to gold, also saw a record year this year. But the yen, for example, didn't see that. But no, I think the debasement trade and the capital outflow from the dollar to other assets or asset classes even was also a great topic, together with also central bank buying.
So as active traders, like what are the next things you are expecting from gold in terms of like to see it pausing its move, to see some resistance there? Like what are your support levels? Like what are you looking in terms of
For sure, I'm looking for buying it because if we look at silver, for example, it already say at new all-time high.
This
So
week.
this week,
yeah,
so
yeah.
the intermarket analysis, I'm expecting that gold can follow up the silver. But
Mhm.
the real questions is what's going on if Powell will be out at like the president of Federal Reserve. So what will be the expectations of interest rate and US economy?
Yeah.
So it's like there are a lot of rumors around the USA economy. So
Mhm.
to be honest, I don't know for the next year what will be the bias of gold because these rumors,
Yeah. Like what we do know is that the December rate cut is already priced in for 87%.
Mhm.
So it's very likely. They also expect 2 further rate cuts, which could boost gold and silver even more. But what I think is an even more important event is the new Fed president, because we have 2 contenders with one more dovish than the other. So depending on which president gets chosen will trigger a very big move across the market. Also because of the Fed independence, of course.
Probably one could also add here that if you look at the last 10-15 years, then like the trend with growth has been up.
But you still long it?
So,
Still buying it.
but Trump has said as well that they want to remove the income tax. They want to pay every American some money for the tariffs that they have earned. So likely
Mhm.
we are going to supply more money to the system, which means
Yeah.
the gold should go higher. So I think that's quite logical.
Yeah, because in the end, like all the printed money is going to flow into new assets, right? Or it's going to end up with people who have money left, and where are they going to invest in? So these stimulus packages end up going into stocks, into gold, into tradable assets,
Safe haven assets.
safe haven assets. So like in the end, that's also another bullish stimulus if that is going to happen, because over time that money is going to be invested somewhere.
Yeah, sure.
So if we jump from gold to another market, which is the oil market. So this year we saw what we saw. First of all, Trump coming in and he said that one of his first priorities is to lower the price of energy for the American people, which kind of hasn't happened yet. Although he has made some kind of decisions and incentives to enable more drilling in the US. Then we had the attack on Iran and this brief incident
Spike.
between them and Israel. So, what are your views on oil? Like, if you look back, anything that you want to highlight?
Yeah, I think one thing I remember very well is the tariff speech from Trump. I think it was April 14, where the markets were in absolute shock. And there was even one trader from the trading pit who made a 20K payout by selling oil right after the speech. And it just kept dropping. It just kept dropping because,
Was it you?
no, it was not me, but but I remember that was the top payout of the week, and like in hindsight, it was so logical because at that moment, the growth outlook of basically the whole economy was hurt so hard by those tariffs that oil prices dropped, all safe haven assets gained, like Swiss and the yen, and for example, Australian dollar, New Zealand dollar, all tanked. Like I remember I was in a swing trade on 80 yen, and it tanked 5% in one day. So yeah, that was fun. But no, I think for in general, there's too much oil across the world and across all suppliers. So that's definitely going to be an issue into next year.
So the bias with crude oil probably because Trump is also so fixated on the price of energy. So the logical bias for oil would be to drop further.
Yes, like to $50 a barrel or something.
Yeah, that's from BlackRock. I was saying that BlackRock is agree with Rudiger in this case.
Or I agree with Black.
No, you're an institutional trader for sure. And yes, the price target for oil is like 55, 75 per dollar. So yes, I'm completely agree with you.
Okay. So if we look at like some other markets, so the U.S. stock market. So again, Trump coming in, we had with the tariffs like a huge drop, and then it's been going pretty much higher and
The Trump puts.
only higher.
Yeah.
So what are your like thoughts? Like what would you buy on this
Stock market,
stock market?
The Trump puts. So if the stock market drops, like Trump cannot under his presidency have the stock market drop, right? He wants to be the greatest president of all time. Like he boosted the economy, right?
Yeah.
And if he has so much influence on social media, where he after a massive drop, he will say like, "Oh, I'm buying the stock market," or "This is a good time to buy," literally, and it rebounded. Like the tariff drop rebounded, I think again within a month. It was like pretty similar to Corona, but it took longer. But yeah, like if it drops again, Trump will step in, like in some kind of way.
I think that he's moving the market in, like, I don't know, if he's buying something, he says something so people can buy it and he can earn a lot of money, It's the same on crypto market. Have you read that his son was shorting crypto and he said on X, oh guys, I don't know what's going on with the China president and the crypto market, boom.
Yeah. Wow.
And the next day he said, no, everything okay. The China president is my friend. And crypto market goes up again. I think that is moving the market by his position.
As a trader, one thing is for sure that if any of us could get closer to Trump, then definitely we would be able to exploit a lot of opportunities.
Yeah, but his friends, I think his close friends made billions on buying before his tweets. And then the stock market moved again 10-20%. So with big money.
And the interesting development like from this year was that there have been a number of occasions whereas he comes out Friday before the market closes with some big news which takes the stock market to like a mini crash. And then in 3 instances, actually, what has followed is that so the market drops, and then he comes out over the weekend, kind of softening this message. And on Monday, so Sunday night, stock market futures open with a
gap. But only the institutions can trade in the weekend, right?
Yeah.
And banks.
So that's interesting. But I think one takeaway from this year, probably into the next few years, not just next year, is that as much as Trump is fixated on lowering the price of crude oil and energy, he's also extremely fixated on the stock market. So as a trader, probably one should be more biased looking on opportunities to buy the market rather than short.
Yeah, especially also with the AI developments. Some news outlets are also talking about an AI bubble. But yeah, they're basically in the race against like general intelligence. But we still have to see like, is AI going to make the impact that it's going to make with all those billions and billions or trillions even being invested in them, and those mega caps making deals with each other for data centers like AMD with Nvidia and Nokia. And yeah, it keeps driving the market, but yeah, is it going to yield that return and that impact that it's now being invested in?
Yeah. It's gonna be interesting to watch for sure. And if you go like to other events that have like surprised you this year, or that you would want to kind of share with the audience as well, like what has had the biggest impact on you or in general on the markets, like what other events would you bring out? Like
tariffs, for sure. Tariffs between US and China, for example, or for US and the other part of the world. For example, they translate that from US, you won't put 100% of tariffs from Eurozone, So this kind of news impacts a lot on my trading position because it's like a black swan, you can imagine it. So definitely the tariffs for this year.
But just as you mentioned, it's just jumping quickly to like your trading. So the news announcement and a lot of impacts that we have had this year, has it made you like take less risks as well on the market? Like has it made you like take smaller positions on the market, or what impact it has had on your like daily trading activity?
At the end, like a bias, no? Because when you have a lot of rumors, a lot of news who comes out every day, and it's always different, bias changes always, on same days. So it was at some point I don't know how to look and what was the bias, for example, for dollar index, if it was to go up or down. Because if put tariffs from US to other country, the inflation, the unemployment, interest rate, the expectative will change. So you change the bias, but next day it doesn't happen and it doesn't think the same anymore.
Yeah, for me, I trade also a lot of cross pairs. So I also trade the risk sentiment. And the risk sentiment was changing like this. So sometimes I was like into trade talks, very risk on positioned, like Australian dollar, New Zealand dollar, maybe Canadian dollar, and selling, for example, the yen. But then one tweet came out, and like the whole sentiment is just like a 180-degree turn, and all of your positions are from profits into drawdown, or you get stopped out if it was a really big event. So I definitely learned to I learned to do more hedging, like do a bit of my portfolio into risk on currencies and risk off assets, because if you're leaning too much on one side and Trump would come out, then your whole portfolio is blowing up. So
I guess if you look at like peak surprises of 2025, and we mentioned already everything related to Trump, the tariffs, probably this Israeli-Iranian conflict what we had. Has there been any like other like big surprises that you have seen, like for example in the FX markets or economic in general?
Yeah, so I think for the Swiss franc, while the SMB was saying for so long they were going to step in, like they're going to intervene, but Trump saying that if the SMB would intervene, they would be marked as currency manipulators. So they end up not doing it. But yeah, even when they cut to zero, the Swiss franc just kept going. While the central bank just doesn't want the currency to be so high or so expensive because it's hurting their exports. And they also got the tariffs, so it was like a double hit for the Swiss economy. But their currency is still very overvalued, and the central bank can do nothing about it.
Which would probably tell you that as a trader that if the trend has been that way so far, then it's going to continue into 2026 as well. Yes. Probably nobody sees any big drop for Swiss franc.
No. That was a big surprise. And also the yen.
Also the yen, yeah, I was saying the same.
So what did you see in yen? What was surprising this year?
No, I think that for the next year, it will be a surprise because right now the central bank says that they don't want to cut the interest rate anymore.
They want to hike.
Yeah, so maybe yen could be strong, and assets like USD, JPY, something like that could drop.
Yeah, some carry trades are going to unwind if they hike the rates.
JPY doesn't work anymore like safe even maybe for the next month. Yeah, it will be a surprise in my opinion. I'm waiting for it because I want to short the USD yen, Euro yen, and all the pair with the yen.
It's a lot of people are watching this yen and I think what's very interesting is that if you look at the Japanese government bond as well, so they are at the extreme, and everybody is expecting like a massive move. So we will have, I think, the DOJ meeting on was 17th or 18th of this
Something
month.
like this.
So something big could come out around that time, right? And
Yeah.
Chinese tend to like to surprise the markets.
Yeah.
And liquidity is very
When
thin, so
yeah.
that would be like a good opportunity. So if you go like now more into like 2026, so we talked about gold, we talked about geopolitics. So what is your outlook for the next year? Like let's say in terms of gold.
Really
On
hard
buying,
question.
selling,
Really hard
Hard
question.
question.
staying on the side, what
Really hard.
what's the best way to deal with it?
I think it's best to go into wait and see mode what the Fed does
Mhm.
in terms of their rate cut path and in terms of who is going to be the next Fed president, because that's really going to determine like how strong is that debasement trade going to be into 2026. And yeah, the stronger that is, the stronger the buy is for the outflow out of the dollar and inflow into safe haven assets.
But you just mentioned dollars, so in terms of we discussed with you, Nicola, as well the other day, dollar index, like, so what to expect, like dollar index to strengthen, to lose a bit value, like what's your expectation?
Yeah, so especially if the interest rate differentials narrow, I think the other currencies will be favored simply because of the lower interest rate differential. So you will see again also an outflow out of the dollar, and for example, the euro could be still a good option as it's pretty stable, and if the also the debt in the US is really high. So we generally see also in December the seasonality of the dollar is pretty weak. So already into this month we could see USD going back to 1.18, 1.19, even 1.20.
What are your views?
Yeah, absolutely. I read on Forex Fundamental. The dollar index is weakness right now because you expected your inflation or interest rates. And right now, if you watched on Fed Watch tool, the probabilities that Fed will cut interest rate again, it's like 19% or something like that. So yes, for maybe for the next 3 months of the new year, I'm waiting for a weakness dollar. That's the reason why I'm buying euro dollar, buying NZD USD.
Yeah, I think NZD recovery is also a great play into the first half year of 2026.
NZD USD is a really big asset right now.
Nicola mentioned Forex Fundamentals, so this is your project, like forexfundamentals.com, so where you have gathered all your like expertise and analysis and information about fundamentals into one place. So where what does this tool, this information that you have gathered there, what does it tell about the market?
Yeah, so it's interesting because Forex Fundamentals is something I created because I wanted it myself. I was there's so many places you can read and find information about fundamentals, but I wanted it all in one place, so it saves me time. I have a better overview and I can make better decisions. So we gather all the data, we gather all the relevant news articles. Of course, we implement AI to filter, to score, and it has been really helping a lot of people to get into the fundamentals and keep up to date with it, because not everyone can be a full-time trader like us, but they can still want to trade fundamentals. So if they have it all in one place and they know how to read it, how to use the different functions and features, people can actually trade the fundamentals without overcomplicating it and having to go to 10 different websites and still not making good decisions on the fundamentals they see.
And if you take your Forex fundamentals, so if you take all the currency pairs in the world that you are analyzing, so on what currency pair or basket you have the highest conviction of a move, and what move would it be?
So we just had the UK budget, and I think if you look into that budget, and they're basically delaying the weakness with their policies. But the pound has across the weakest G10 data as of this moment. So we have very bearish scores for basically all the pound pairs. There are rate cuts expected, and there's also less productivity, so less growth expected for the UK area. So I think the pound sells are going to be a big thing in 2026.
And in terms of the pound weakness, so if you would want to play that for our audience as well, what pair, what instruments did you use for that?
Yeah, so for example, I wouldn't pick GU because dollar, I'm also expecting bearishness. So GU is simply not the best expression of pound shorts. But for example, GBP AUD, GBP NZD, those can be really good expressions, basically because the pound is inherently bearish, and the New Zealand dollar has been trending down for so long that is now looking good for a recovery into 2026. So a pair like GBP NZD has a lot of downside potential.
Do you agree with this kind of expectation?
I use it. I am his client. I'm using it, yes, and it helps me a lot because it's an easy way to read fundamental and macroeconomics. For example, before of Forex fundamental, I have to read.
So let's just quickly stop there. Like, so before using the tool that Rutger has, how did you gather fundamental data and made analysis? Like, what
A lot of
websites?
websites like Reuters, Bloomberg, Trading Economics. What's the other one? Funding Peeps, the Polymarkets. But on Forex Fundamental, I have everything put on it. So I earn a lot of time because I have everything on just one website, and I don't have even to pay a lot of subscription, like Reuters, Bloomberg, the Wall Street Journal.
I think let's stop there because people will think that we are doing some other. But it's actually a good tool. So, but I agree with you that for an average trader and most of our audience as well, they are normal human traders, mostly manual traders as well. So to gather fundamental data to make analysis, it's an area super fragmented. So you have to source your data from many different places. The data is structured differently. So to combine that and to be able to actually make analysis on top of that, it's probably very complicated.
Yes, and even
if you're just working alone,
and
but if you're not full-time as well.
If you read an article, you have to understand if, for example, this kind of news or this kind of topic that you're reading can impact on the market, or it can. On Forex Fundamental, you already know if this news has an high impact or low impact. So it helps me a lot. And I don't have to read all the news. I just need the ones because Forex Fundamental says, okay, put a ring and say, okay, this is a high impact news. And I go to read it. It helps me in terms of time.
Very, completely agree with you. So if we now step back to the market, so we discussed a bit the crude oil market in 2025. We expect it to drop probably going into 2026 for the reasons we mentioned earlier. It's a lot of supply. Trump is also removing a lot of restrictions in terms of the production. And but just wanted to touch a bit this green energy and policies, because Trump kind of walks away a bit from this perspective. Europeans are still kind of focused on the green energy, and so do you see any trading opportunities there as well, or
So silver is a lot used in solar panels and the green energy solutions. So I'm still bullish therefore on silver, as it is an industrial metal. And the economic outlook is still positive, but also for green energy. So in terms of you see a lot of subsidies being given out for solar energy, and it is growing. The electrical car market is growing and growing. The regulations are more being favored into electric cars and those green solutions. So definitely silver, but also copper. Copper, for example, Citibank and all the other big banks are super bullish into 2026 on copper. Also because they are expecting a historical shortage next year. So this is also in the commodity I'm really looking to keep longing, just buy and hold, and scale in with every pullback, because this is a no-brainer, and we already know the forecasts. So
What are your thoughts, Nicola? Like, what could be like a good trade in energy or green energy? Or like,
I put my focus on green energy. To be honest, I'm fan of nuclear energy, but I think that right now we can't trade it, or I don't know.
you can trade. There are uranium ETFs. There are indices on the uranium, so miners, producers. In general, like one theme about the energy, like what I just want to add here, could be actually this everything related to AI. Yeah? Because AI has so much energy needs that people are talking about the renaissance in energy production. So a lot of a lot of people are talking about the comeback of the nuclear energy, your favorite theme as well, about a lot of infrastructure needs to be renewed as well. So the European American grids are very old, so you need to actually renovate that. So this could be offering opportunities. So, but please add also your thoughts.
Okay, no, I was saying this one that to be honest, I put focus for my life on energy, green energy, but I don't trade it. I don't care. I put just focus on just one market, that is Forex. But to be honest, yes, I don't think that your soil will be killed by this new kind of energy, because all the world system is based on petrodollar. We say in Italy it means dollar and use soil asset is combined. So yeah, this is my point of view.
But since you like green energy and efficiency, so in terms of your trading setup, does it mean that you have switched off 3 monitors out of 4 to save energy, or what's your setup?
more screens equals more profit.
Yes.
But I mean seriously, like, so what's your setup? Like, how many screens do you have?
How many screens?
Yeah.
Like, what do you mean for?
Like, so monitors. How many monitors do you?
No, just two.
Just two. And you?
I have a wide screen where on one screen I have my trading view, or on the left hand, and on the right hand I have my Forex fundamentals, where I have the article feed and the scores and the information, and then I try to go through, read the news, look at the price section, and see if it's like a good entry point from a swing perspective.
So in terms of technicals, you do most of the analysis in TradingView.
Yeah, I do.
And you, Nicola?
Yeah, trading. Yeah. But when you are a swing trader or fundamental trader, you don't need to stay always on trading view. So I don't need a lot of screens, because I use trading view, for example, on Monday or on weekend to prepare my bias, But on the end, I put the alert, and when price hits it, I open up. I open a position.
Yeah,
So Alper, so I have to stay always next to my screens to watch if the level, the volume. No, I don't care about it.
Very, very interesting. Thank you for sharing this. Thank you for having just 2 screens, not 4, for the green energy.
planet.
Yeah. But if you go like a bit further, like into the like stock markets, so S&P 500, Nasdaq, like what are your predictions for 2026? Will they go higher, lower?
Yeah. As long as the AI bubble keeps pumping, we would see bullish. We will keep seeing bullish catalysts, but I think we are seeing prices that are above the fair value. So a correction would be logical somewhere in 2026. But again, as long as Trump is in the office, I think
There's a put like he will
There's a put.
even after small crash, mini crash, he
Yeah.
will come out and start like.
And that's what I'm watching because I missed out on that last time. Last time I was in Madrid as well when that happened back in April. We had the conversation about it, and I was like, yeah, I was already thinking that it was kind of a bubble bursting, but well, we saw it rebound very quick. So I'm kind of waiting for something similar to happen, but it's not my main expertise, the stock market.